Welcome, everybody, to the We Hate Anime podcast, the only anime podcast that is brought to you for the first time in Columbus, Ohio. That's right, motherfuckers. I have successfully moved across the country with the gracious help of our many patrons. And by many patrons, I mean the handful of people crazy enough to give us money. And I just want to, reach out to those people and I want to thank them. So, starting out the show, I just want to thank, firstly, one of our first patrons, my lovely girlfriend, Nicole Carter. There's also Kev Online, genuinely great guy, watches stuff on YouTube. Then we got Vinegar Raw, one of our newest patrons. Thank you so much for joining us, Vinegar. And of course, Katarasic, which I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly, but they've never corrected me. But of course, I can't not mention our number one current patron, giving at the producer level $25 a month, Gotchi, the Chadish's Thundercock. Yes, they changed their name and made me say that. Thank you all for donating to the Patreon. Every little bit helps us out. Especially right now, as I'm currently in between jobs, as you could imagine someone who moved across the country would be. You're helping us keep this podcast afloat. Maybe not my lights on, but you're keeping the podcast on. And with that said, we're going to move forward. And I just want to introduce the one person brave enough to join me for this week's episode. That would be Sudoku, also known as the King of the Future Fathers.
Yeah, that's me. I guess I never really made like a formal announcement on the podcast. I've alluded to it, but my wife is pregnant.
Yes, that's right. Soon, someone else will be cursed with the knowledge of knowing Doku.
Yeah.
And of course, there's me, which it feels like it's been 5 years since I've been on an episode of the podcast, but that's just because life has been coming fast. It's me, Big Mike. That's my name, not English Mike. I'm moving away from that title very slowly, as I'm bad at remembering not to call myself that.
You can't keep saying you're moving away from it and then say it.
Well, I mean, listen, it's not that racist.
No, it's not.
It's uncomfortable, but it's not that bad. So Zoku, how you been? How you been? It's been a while since we talked to each other.
I have been good. I'm basically all settled into my new job. I hit my 90 days last week. So apparently, at my job, in our department, which is the IT department, I have a liberal arts degree and somehow got an IT job.
Let's go.
Once a new employee hits 90 days, they vote on whether or not to keep the employee right in front of said employee.
What kind of fucking Hunger Games bullshit is this?
I did not like that shit at all.
God, the most fucked up thing about that is that if anyone says no, but you still stay on, you know who your enemies are. God, what was that actually? Did anyone look at you in the eye and say, fuck you?
Yes.
Holy shit.
One person did. I got, so it's a small department. I got 3 yeses, 1 no, and then 1 Thunderdome was what they wrote. They did a write-in.
Wait, they wrote what?
They wrote Thunderdome.
Thunderdome? What the fuck does that even mean?
I have no clue, but I'm okay with it. Fun fact about me, the Mad Max franchise is my favorite movie franchise.
Oh man, this motherfucker could have ended up being a tiebreaker vote for whether or not you got this job. And he's just fuck it. Thunderdome now, baby. God damn.
I had to fight for my life. Literally.
He might as well have just wrote in Kanye for president or some bullshit.
But yeah, there's that. I really like my job. It is very nice having a job for the first time in my life where I don't feel existential dread driving to work.
Oh, that's gotta be nice.
I realize I really like my job. It's really cool. I hate computers. I fucking hate computers. My job as an IT person has radicalized me against computers. I am praying every day for a solar flare.
But Doku, if the solar flare hits, you'll be out of a job.
That's a risk I'm willing to take.
Well, what kind of bullshit have you had to deal with?
Max.
Max?
Apple products.
Oh, Max, as in Apple. Okay.
Yeah.
When you said Max, I was like, is that like your coworker?
No. Okay, I am the audio-visual technician for my work. I am basically in charge of, so I work for a casino, and the casino has an event center where people can rent out the space for banquets and whatever. And we have projectors in there, and I'm basically responsible for making sure that when there's a banquet or stuff, they use the projectors, that they have a place to plug into. Macs are nightmares. You can plug a Mac into an HDMI cable, and it will decide it doesn't like it for no reason.
Okay.
So, and I don't know that they have a Mac until they're on property and working on it, and usually I'm not there. 5 o'clock, I'm fucking gone.
Right.
And so if they have a Mac, I have to completely redo all my wiring, and it usually ends up looking like shit compared to how I had it.
Ugh.
That
sounds fucking awful.
The last concert we had, which was Beach Boys, their projector guy used Macs, and we had to basically completely redo the way we were doing our projectors for concerts because of his fucking Macs.
You know, I've held for a pretty long time for me the personal opinion that Apple products are all trash, and I think it's about time. You know, solar flare, I don't know, but we should definitely start bullying anyone with an Apple product.
Yes,
including Moth.
Apple products fucking suck. If you ever have an event or something where you need to do a presentation, I am fucking begging you, bring a Windows laptop.
Seriously, it's one of the Windows. Like, listen, I think Windows sucks. Everyone knows Windows sucks, but it's plug and play shit.
Yeah,
like you can put it anywhere.
You can use it.
Yeah.
God, I had one event that they had 2 computers. They had a Mac, which wouldn't work. They had a Surface Pro. The Surface Pro, they were trying to get sound off of it into the PA system. The Surface Pro didn't have an HDMI port. So you couldn't get sound that way. What you could do, they had like they had a USB-C adapter that was USB-C to HDMI that they could use that, but that didn't transmit sound. So I was like, okay, I can rig it to like be an aux cable into a mic port. Surface Pros don't have aux ports. These motherfuckers, for their Zoom meeting that they were having in this event center space, had to hold a mic up to this Surface Pro. And I just had to look at them and say, there's nothing I can do, you dumbasses.
God, people are so fucking stupid. But yeah, no, other than like your new hatred for any non-Windows proprietary technology, it sounds like your job's pretty cool, dude.
Yeah, I've been learning a lot about computers that I didn't know before because, again, I had a theater degree.
They're like, oh, you have a theater degree? Great, you're going to work the tech in our theater.
It's not even, I work the tech for the tribe.
Yeah, You know what? I bet I should put the good word in for you. But I'm pretty disconnected from the tribe, considering I've never technically been a part of it.
Let's go.
That sounds pretty good though. Me though, as I said earlier, I just fucking moved across the goddamn country.
That's rough.
I drove 12 and a half hours.
Jesus.
And we did not stop for sleep.
Jesus.
We left at 12. We left at midnight Arkansas time and arrived at 1:30 Columbus time. Which is only 12 and a half hours because of time difference.
Yeah.
And I have never been that I was by the time we got there, I was a goddamn nervous wreck because I'm an idiot. I'm a stupid fucking idiot. I thought I had everything. I fucking rented a U-Haul trailer. I had it loaded up. I was ready to go. I bought straps, but I only bought 4 straps. And they were not long enough.
Oh no!
So I had to connect the two. I had to connect them so that I only had 2 straps, precariously connected together in an X pattern over all my shit.
Yeah, that's spooky.
Oh, it gets spookier. I put a mattress protector around my mattress, and because that was plastic. It just started flopping in the it would catch wind and just start flopping. And we had to stop multiple times just to check it, make sure it was okay. And the worst thing about that is we got here and then threw my mattress away because I had a better sleeping setup here with my other bedding. And we just threw that mattress away. That mattress that fucking slowed us down. Because it's only a 9.5 hour drive. It's a pretty reasonable drive, realistically.
Yeah.
But when you have to drive 30 to 40 miles under the speed limit just to make sure that you aren't falling apart, it's nerve-wracking.
Yeah. No, I am not looking forward to when I have to move out of state.
Honestly, as stressful as it was, if I had just prepared a little bit more ahead of time, it would have went so smoothly. Us getting this place was kind of last minute. We were not really expecting to get it even. And this apartment's really good for the price.
Yeah, from what my understanding, Ohio has pretty low cost of living.
Yeah, it's comparable to the cost of living to Arkansas, which is why I was like, you know what, I can do that.
Yeah, Oklahoma has also has really low cost of living.
And specifically, though, I live in Columbus, Ohio, which is a big fucking town.
Yeah.
Well, actually, I guess it's technically a city, but this is the weirdest city in the world. There's only altogether maybe 10 high-rise buildings.
Okay.
It's this massive city of almost 1 million people, but everything's mostly single story, and it's structured every location is structured like a small town. So it feels like a collection of well put together small towns everywhere.
It's
kind of nuts.
That kind of sounds like how Tulsa is set up. Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Tulsa, Oklahoma is kind of the same way. I guess Oklahoma City is kind of like that too. But Oklahoma City has a downtown area with a few high rise buildings, and then surrounding that is just suburbs and shit.
Yeah. This is one of the nicest places I've ever lived in my entire life.
Base.
There is a very nice park a 10-minute walk from where I live.
Cool.
They're like, everyone is like, oh, you're from the South like I am. There's this fucking Southern stereotype of like, oh man, everyone from the South is so nice. But it's fake because everyone in the South is not actually nice. They just they use nice words to say mean things.
Yeah, they're very passive aggressive.
No one is like that here. Everyone is so like, I was at Kroger checking out, and the Kroger's there like play a little song when you check out. I've never shopped at Kroger really, and I was just like, oh man, jamming to the song. And then some woman, never talked to her before in my life, looked over and like, oh, I thought I was the only one who danced to that song. And I was like, oh, you sweet little creature. I want to talk to you. I want to get to know you. And like, it's everywhere. Everyone is nice. There are people that go outside and walk places because the city is structured to do that. So like, you just see people, strangers talking. It's so fucking weird. It's crazy. This place is fucking awesome. I just need to get a job so I can stay living here.
Yeah, it would be like that. That's like, so originally we were planning on moving to Las Vegas because my wife and I are both have theater degrees. We're both theater people. And Vegas is a pretty big theater town. We have friends that live down there, but we would never, the one time we were able to actually save up enough money to try and move, COVID happened and shut down the entire theater industry.
Yeah.
And then I got the job that I have now, so we'll probably stay where we're living at for a little longer, for a few more years, probably.
That really
and I'm probably
sucks.
now in the IT pipeline, which isn't bad.
It's only a matter of time it's only a matter of time till you're wearing the programmer socks, Sudoku.
Oh man, bro, I have a coworker who talks about Bitcoin mining.
Oh no!
I have a lot of self-restraint. Let me tell you.
You should just like, when you're really mad at him, you should just be like, "So I heard the IRS is coming after NFTs."
He's like, besides that, he's cool as fuck. He offered to give me his old solid state drive because I'm still using an old ass fucking hard drive in my computer. So besides that one character flaw, he's cool. He's pretty all right.
I would be wary of taking any electronics that someone who's into Bitcoin mining has used.
If it was a graphics card, I would agree, but usually they don't really care about like SSDs and shit.
Okay.
And CPUs too. They usually buy like cheap CPUs and then buy the like super expensive graphics cards.
But yeah, hopefully by the time this episode comes out, I'm gonna have a job. I did have a job for 3 days. I worked in a factory, and it was so bad for my mental health that I was breaking down after every shift, because if you work in a factory, like, it's not like, it's really hard to describe. Like, the factory working there was actually fine, but like, I was just spent the entire day inside my head.
Yeah.
And by the end of the shift, I would have convinced myself that an innocuous thing I said earlier in the day was something worth having a breakdown for, because I was worried that I had greatly offended my girlfriend.
I feel like that is a job I would like. So I worked in a restaurant for 5 years. I started as a dishwasher. I found dishwashing very therapeutic, because everyone just left me alone. I could like put earbuds in, listen to music, and just like do what I did. So I feel like I would find something like that therapeutic.
Yeah, no, I'm the same way, because I don't like working with people.
Yeah.
And that job is totally something you could do that for, because at this factory, you could just show up and like, because it's an incredibly loud factory, you can just listen to whatever you want as long as you're listening to it through a Bluetooth speaker.
Yeah.
And no one will even hear what you're listening to because it's so fucking loud. Like, you have to put in like fucking ear things to make sure your ears don't get damaged. Mm-hmm. My issue with it is that I did not have a Bluetooth speaker.
Oh.
And So I spent the first 2 shifts of real work just inside my head, and like it was work that I wasn't good at, and I was just like struggling to like balance the in my head part, but also the doing work part of this stuff I've never done before, and my back was hurting the entire time because I'm not super tall. I'm 6 feet tall, but
like standing and doing work, that shit breaks your back. I wish I would have bought myself a back brace way earlier when I was working at a restaurant.
If I wasn't like a big fat guy, I would have a back brace, but it's impossible to find one when you're my size. Yeah. Still losing weight. So that's still happening. But yeah, like all the equipment there, all the machines, they're designed for someone of average height to work on. And like you don't think like the difference between someone who's average height and someone who's a little tall would be that much until you have to slightly lean forward for 8 hours a day.
Yeah.
And then your back goes just fucking out because there's no way to deal with that. Yeah, I knew it would. I knew I would not end up staying there for very much longer. So I just the day where I was the day after, like I decided that maybe I shouldn't stay there for much longer. And the next day, my girlfriend's car, the battery just died, and I took that as the sign.
Yeah,
because like the factory is an hour outside of town.
Oof.
Yes, so we have to drive an hour there, spend 8 hours, then an hour back to town. That's 10 hours a day.
Yeah.
Working there where I would have been working, there's mandatory overtime.
Yeah.
And every other Saturday is a day you have to work. So that means that 8 hours turns into 10 hours a day with only 1 day off a week. And add on to that the 2 hours of travel, I would literally die.
Yeah. Factory work is fucked up. It sucks.
Yeah, no.
I've heard nothing but bad things about factory work besides the pay.
Yeah, no. The pay was I was getting paid $16.50 an hour.
Yeah. We have a Goodyear factory in this town that it basically employs. It's like I think it's the town's highest employer, and yeah, their pay and benefits and shit is insane.
If I get into better shape, I might end up going back to that factory. It's just the shape I'm in right now. And mental shape as well.
Yeah.
Like I need to be good at headspace. So for now, I've reapplied to a Walmart. God damn. I've applied to a few other places. Applied to a fucking AutoZone.
AutoZone's not too bad to work for.
I worked for Advanced, which is the same thing.
Yeah.
And that was my favorite job I ever had. I also applied to work for the state of Ohio as a janitor.
State jobs are good benefits.
Yes.
I almost got a state job working for the theater that's here in the city. So I almost got like a city job, and then my current job was offering like slightly more every 2 weeks. So I took this one instead. Instead of an actual theater job, I took an IT job.
You go to here's a little heads up. You live in the US. Go if you're looking for a job, just type in state careers and go to their fucking website, and like you will be surprised, and like it all pays insanely well.
Yeah, janitor, like in my town, janitors make like 16 an hour.
That's how much this job is.
Yeah.
And the hours are perfect from 5 p.m. to 12 p.m. And I'm going to be alone for that entire time.
Yeah.
Just cleaning. Like that job's going to be cake easy if I get it. I'm hoping I do, because like not only that, but that when I would get off coincides to when Nicole would be getting home from work every night.
Base.
So like literally pick me up, babe. Let's go home.
You want to be the janitor from Control.
I've not played Control yet, although now I can. The glory of having a girlfriend with a fucking gaming PC.
Let's go.
Let's go. Honestly, outside of the anxiety I currently have for not having a job, this is the best thing I've ever done in my life.
Yeah, that's good. I'm happy for you.
Yeah. Thanks, man. Yeah. It's pretty crazy to get laid on the regular.
Yeah.
Sex times. Let's go. I won't go into details, but apparently I'm good at giving head.
So I've been forced to hear.
I mean, it's not every day that your girlfriend's like, yo, throat goat. But yeah, that's basically, Columbus is fucking nuts, you guys. Like, there's so much to do here. And it's great. I went from a city of 71,000 people to a city of 800,000 people. And the difference is like night and day. Like, there's so much to do. There's so much like food. Like, the food here is nuts.
Best.
Is it
like a military town?
No, it's a college town.
Oh, okay.
But so was the town I came from. Like, this town is just designed like a city, and like it has history and shit. The town I came from had nothing but racism.
Yeah.
Like, there's a small hole in the wall diner, like about a 10-minute drive from here, called Scotty's, and it's literally the best breakfast food I've had in my entire life. And like the guy who runs it, his name is guess Scotty. He just works there every day, and he's this big rotund guy who's just like, hey, I saw you last week. How you doing? You like the food? Oh man, it's great to see you. Hey, I'll come back and check on you again. And then he will come back and he will check on you again.
That's like this place we have here called the Junction. It is open until like 5 o'clock in the morning. It is ran by this Italian dude who I swear is in the mob. It's a Korean restaurant. It's banger food, like it's banger Korean food, and he likes to just argue with guests who come in.
That's amazing.
He's really cool.
But yeah, even though my anxiety, I'm really happy that this happened, and I want to thank even you, Doku, all my friends that have been supportive of this big change. And if you too would like to support this big change, you can go to patreon.com/wehateanime.
Let's go.
Let's go. But yeah, other than that, I also saw Dune.
Yeah, I also saw Dune.
Or as the title drop calls it, Dunk.
Dunk. I think everyone has seen Dune in the We Hate Anime podcast network. Except maybe Frog.
The Frog hasn't, but that's because Frog barely exists.
As a Canadian, they do not exist.
That's right. We're calling you out, Frog. You need to fucking get on our level and watch Dunk.
Dune's really good.
That is, it's really weird. Because, like, when Moth is really into something, I expect it to be something with no substance. And Dune is something that Moth is really into. He even did like a special little like weird roleplay thing that we uploaded to YouTube about.
So he just talks about Dune. It's great.
Yeah. Fun fact about that. And granted, if you're old head, you know it. That was originally supposed to be ASMR. But but like I was like, okay, Moth, you want to do ASMR? That's fine. I know some people. I'll get you some tips. And then like I asked Mom to Moth to just record something so I could see what he's working with, and Moth thinks ASMR is just talking quietly. So like he was just like, hey guys, not getting close to the mic, not doing any of the fucking weird like tapping shit.
Yeah.
He was just talking really softly, like a normal like a guy that's just sitting normally next to you and just talking normally would be
Moth
talking. It was like, this is not ASMR.
A porn star's understanding of ASMR.
Yeah. Oh god. But yeah, so I went in, I know Dune is something that people really love, so I didn't go in expecting it to be bad. I did not expect it to be as smart as it is.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. So like my whole life I've heard people talk about Dune. Like my dad loved Dune. My friend Peyton loves Dune.
Whoa, you're friends with Peyton Manning?
Yeah.
Nice.
He was actually the one that was like the one movie. So we get HBO Max through my brother-in-law. And so like that was like the one movie he was like, when this comes out, I really want to watch it with y'all. And so it was like the day it came out, we all got together and we watched Dune with him. And all of us just fucking loved it. We had a great time.
It's insane. Like that movie is almost 3 hours long and it doesn't feel it at all.
Really doesn't. That's like the one thing I've been really confused about by people who are illiterate on the internet. They're saying like it's boring, but like it doesn't feel as long as it is at all. Like the first hour maybe,
I actually think the closest you could say to it being boring is like, I think you could have ended that movie after the siege on their like town.
Yeah.
And everything after that's just a little slow because that's like the big set piece of the movie. Mm-hmm. And there's not like a cap to the movie like there is for a lot of modern movies, and I'm actually fine with that. And I think everything after that is also really fantastic. But yeah, this movie, like, it's like everything about it is just banger. Like
everyone is hot.
Everyone is hot. Like the only actor who I think doesn't do a great job would be the girl Zendaya.
Yeah. Well, I mean, to be fair, she doesn't really have a whole lot to work with in this movie.
And not only that, but she's also not in it much,
yeah.
So you don't notice that she doesn't have a lot to work with.
She has she stares at the camera.
Yes,
that is what she does in that movie.
Hopefully, by the second movie, she'll have like figured out like she'll be given some proper direction because like I feel like towards the end when she actually does get some speaking lines, they just feel kind of wooden.
Yeah.
But everyone else in this movie is given a 10 out of 10 performance. Yeah. Like I didn't even know Batista was in this movie.
I didn't know either.
Batista's there.
I didn't know like any of I didn't see a single trailer for the movie. I didn't even see the poster until we got on HBO Max to watch it. I had no clue who was in it. Like each time like Oscar Isaac showed up, I was like, what the I didn't know Oscar Isaac was in the movie. I didn't know Dave Bautista was in the movie. What the fuck? Who was this hot twink?
Yeah, no, then super hot twink. Everyone in this movie, including the fat floating man, is hot as fuck.
Okay, now let us slow down here.
No, I just this movie like okay, I left the theater. When the movie ended, I was like I want more. I'm gonna end up reading Dune.
Oh no, my wife like the next day we ordered Dune on Amazon. She read it in 2 days.
Jesus Christ!
And then after that, we ordered the whole series, and she has now started reading Dune Messiah.
Nice.
So the one thing that really fucked me up about that movie, so Jason Momoa is in that movie. Halfway through the movie, Not halfway, a little more than that. He shaves his beard.
God, he looks so fucking weird with a shaved beard.
He looks like Brendan Fraser. That was all I could think about, because there's that one scene. There's a scene was like the siege where he's just wearing like a baggy white shirt, kind of like Brendan Fraser in The Mummy, and he just fucking looks like Brendan Fraser.
He looks like he looks like someone did a wide Putin meme to Brendan Fraser. God, that's so true. Like, God, I get like shaving his face actually makes sense, especially to like it's a sand planet. Like, of course you'd shave the face, like fit into the gear better or whatever. Like, that's fine, but also you look terrible.
No, he doesn't. Shut the fuck up.
He looks bad with no facial hair.
No, he does not. Leave him alone.
Maybe
you sound like my wife.
Maybe with no facial hair and like a shorter haircut, he'd look fine. But like, it just doesn't go well, man. It looks bad.
Give him the Mummy Brendan Fraser haircut, he'd be fine.
Oh, 100%. You give him that haircut, I'm gonna be over here like salivating. That dude's a hot guy.
Yeah. I'm glad Hollywood has finally figured out that Jason Momoa is incredibly charismatic.
Oh yeah, no, like Jason Momoa feels like a great actor to like do whatever you tell them to do.
Yeah.
Like he just seems incredibly talented and able to give what you want of him. I can't wait. In the coming years, there's gonna be some serious movie with Jason Momoa, and he's gonna give it his all, and it's gonna be a great fucking movie.
Yeah. No, as just like Jason Momoa is a great actor. And it really it's sad that it took Aquaman for people to figure out that he's great and charismatic.
Yeah,
but
like he literally carried all the DC movies he was in, despite those movies still being ass.
Yeah. Aquaman is one of the funniest fucking movies I've ever seen.
I still haven't seen it, and I don't know if I will or not.
It's not worth watching, but it's very funny.
Maybe I'll get like super drunk with Nicole and we'll watch it.
But yeah, Dune's great. Watch Dune. Please watch Dune. Please give your money to Dune.
Seriously.
Watch it in 4K Blu-ray.
Thankfully, they already announced that it's getting like it's part 2, which is pretty cool considering it starts by saying it's part 1.
Yeah.
But like you should watch this just for like this is like when my brain thinks of science fiction, it doesn't really think of such shit like Star Wars. Mm. It thinks of the type of shit that Dune's doing.
Yeah. Also, like we're watching Dune, and it gets to the part near the end of the movie where one of the characters says, "We'll take Dune guy. I forget his name. Paul. We'll take Dune guy, but not the mother." And then like my friend just fucking says, "God damn it, George Lucas is a fucking hack."
Oh, we can get into that. Jesus Christ. This is like literally fucking George Lucas read Dune was like, "Oh, what if they could do all that shit, but they didn't have to talk, and also they had laser swords."
To be fair, that is kind of a base idea to have.
Yeah, but then he was also like, yeah, and then 40K was like, "Yo, what if we copied everything from Dune and just like made it our own?"
Yeah.
Oh man,
Dune is like the prequel movies were good. You know what I mean?
You're so kind of right. You should the new Star Wars watching order is Dune and the rest of Star Wars.
Yep.
Also, like the soundtrack is nuts.
It's Hans Zimmer, of course.
It's like I don't think it's music I would ever listen to.
Yeah,
but
it fits
music
really
that
well.
Fits.
It's a lot more subdued than Hans Zimmer usually does. This is weird. I think my favorite Hans Zimmer score is Batman v Superman.
You should die.
That soundtrack has some bangers. I'm sorry. The score has
I'm
some
gonna
bangers.
bang your head against the wall.
Listen. Put Hans Zimmer
This man over
on
here-
fucking Looney Tunes Back in Action 2. He'll get on it.
But yeah, no, what Hans Zimmer did with this movie is completely nuts because the tracks he created help create this unease and alien feel that the movie really needed.
Yeah.
Like, watch Dune. Like, just watch it. It's so fucking good. And Moth is listening to this and seething and malding and fucking cursing me because I'm a fake fan who didn't read the book. I will read the book eventually.
I probably won't.
When I
I'm
have
sorry.
money.
I can't read.
Wow, you're just like Moth.
I probably will eventually. I want to get through. I eventually, at some point in my life, want to read every book of the Rift Force cycle, which is like a series of like 30 books.
What is that? I've never heard of that.
Oh, it is a book series by Raymond E. Feist. It's comprised of like several sagas. So the first series is called the Rift Force Saga. It's 4 books if you're American. The first book is about this orphan named Pug. And in this kingdom, when you become of age, there's like this big ceremony, and every of age boy gets chosen to become an apprentice to whatever. And his best friend becomes like the knight's apprentice or something. And he doesn't get anything. But the Duke's wizard decides to take him as an apprentice. And he's really shitty at magic.
Nice.
He just can't. He's learning it very slowly. Halfway through the first book, or at the end of the first book, if you're American, he gets kidnapped by people from an alternate universe that visit their world, or that invade their world, and becomes enslaved for like 15 years. And in that 15 years, he learns how to use magic and becomes like one of the high-ranking mages of this world. And there's a scene where he's like at a coliseum because they kind of wiped his memories. He's in a coliseum, like his memories awaken, and he just like fucking destroys the place. And it's really neat. And then he goes back to the original world and liberates it and shit. And that's just the first book.
That sounds insane.
Every book has basically a different main character. So like the main character of the first book, whose name is Pug. He's not after the first book. He's no longer the main character. He shows up as this like the most powerful magician in the universe. And someone who has canonically met Jesus.
Wait. Like the in-universe Jesus?
No, Jesus of
Christ?
Nazareth. He traveled to our universe and met Jesus.
Oh, Doku, you just sold me as hard as you possibly. I need you to message me the name of this series so that I can begin my journey.
The first book is called Magician Apprentice, or it's called Magician, and if you're American, it's called Magician Apprentice / Magician Master. It's called the Rift War Cycle or Rift War Saga. It's really fucking good. All the characters are great. His best friend Thomas, who the guy who becomes Knight Apprentice, becomes a fucking Chad who gets like this golden armor from a dragon and becomes like an immortal.
God, how many of the books have you read?
I have read the first 5. So I read the whole first saga, which is the first 3 books. And then like I got halfway through the second saga.
God, this story sounds... I'm a big fan of like high concept book series, like well, not necessarily high concept, but like ongoing stories like that. Like I'm a big fan of the Ranger's Apprentice series, which if you've never read is like just fantastic. A little bit of what you're telling me sounds kind of like it, because it follows like an orphan boy and like a group of other orphans, which aren't main characters except for one of them. And once they reach a certain age in this kingdom, they have to try and become an apprentice to someone with a certain trade. So like one guy's name's Horace. I don't know why I remember his name, because I don't even remember the main character's name. But Horace, he ends up becoming a knight's apprentice, and the girl that the main character likes ends up becoming the baker's apprentice, and he gets nobody. And to prove that he's worth being someone's apprentice, or something like that. It's been a while since I've read it. He scales the tower and breaks into the principal's office. I guess it's not really principal's office, but for the purpose of this explanation, it is. And the entire time, the guy who didn't pick an apprentice was watching him, and this was his test to see if he could become the ranger's apprentice. And in this story, a ranger is just is dual part like the scout for the kingdom, but also is an assassin.
Base.
So he gets raised from an early age to be an assassin, and at some point in the second book, he gets kidnapped by fantasy Vikings, and for 5 years is their slave, while he has to keep a princess safe. And it goes all over the place. It's so fucking good. I need to get back into that series. That's a good ass fucking series. Also, by the second book, the big bad force is just killed by Horace. Not in something super impressive. He just challenges him to battle, and the guy's pride won't let him decline. And so in front of his own army, he just fucking gets killed, and it's sick.
Base.
That's a good ass book series I need to get back into.
What is it called? The Ranger's Apprentice?
It's called the Ranger's Apprentice series. That series is just fantastic. It doesn't just play with this one kingdom. Even whenever he gets captured by the fantasy Vikings and he goes to their land, that land has completely different customs and a culture that they have to learn, and it's obviously cold and shit, and they're slaves the entire time, so they have a way to be treated, and it gives this princess some view into the world that she had not seen otherwise. So she becomes less of a pampered princess and more of a world-weary traveler, which she, when they do escape, takes she takes that experience with her into becoming a queen eventually. And there's time skips that show all this development happening, because every couple of books there's a time skip of a couple years. Just phenomenal. And there's very little magic in the world. They don't do magic all willy-nilly. The first book has a monster, and you don't see another monster until the fifth book. And that fifth book is also the one with a wizard in it. Super fucking sick. Speaking of super sick, we should probably get on talking about the
We've
anime.
been recording for almost an hour.
You know what? I was worried. I was terrified that coming into this, there wouldn't be that much to say.
Now we gotta fucking wrap it up.
Yeah. Let's go ahead. This is a seasonal episode. We watched, the fall anime season of anime. This is a late seasonal episode. So we're just gonna run through it. We're not gonna just run through it because there's plenty to say about some of these.
Yeah.
But here at the start, there are 5 shows that Doku here did not see.
So I forgot about this until you said something. I think it was yesterday or the day before. Yeah, it was Saturday. We're recording on a Monday. And you were like, "Hey, are you good to record tomorrow?" And I was like, "Yeah." I got a crunch because all I had watched was Platinum Inn and Tact Opus Destiny. So I was like, "Oh fuck, I gotta spend the day watching the rest of these shows."
And can I just say, you are a gentleman and a scholar, because God forbid everyone else, anytime I was like, "Hey, anyone who wants to be on this episode?" Silence.
Yeah.
And Doku, like the first time I said it, was like, "Yeah, what's the seasonal list? I got it."
Yeah, well, I like doing these because I like discovering new shows, and because there's always something that I get from these that I turn up really liking. And
the cool thing about doing these seasonal episodes is that there's so much anime that your average person wouldn't even try. Like, I found some of my favorite anime because I do these seasonal episodes. Yeah. Like, I started watching seasonal anime before their podcast was a thing, and there is a show called Magical Circle Guru Guru, which is my favorite comedy anime. It's so fucking funny, and if you like turn-based RPGs, it will literally murder you with its comedy. That show's amazing. No one talks about it. No one's even fucking heard of it. It's so upsetting to me.
Oh, before we get into what we watched, we should get into what we watched last season.
Hell yeah. Me, I didn't watch a damn thing because it's upsetting. I was preparing for the move, and I lost my job and just like was in a bad place for a while, and I didn't really watch a lot of anime. I need to go back and watch Kobayashi-san, because Kobayashi's Dragon Maid, because I fucking love that shit. Doku, you last season was your first seasonal watching, and
no, it wasn't. I did the one before that.
Wait, you
yeah.
did? Oh, you did, didn't you? You've been my little seasonal buddy every single time. Yeah. Bless your fucking soul. Bless your heart.
So I watched 2 shows and I dropped 1 show. I dropped Sunny Boy because it was kind of slow, and I was like, I'm gonna wait till this is done and then binge it.
And then it ended, and you haven't touched it yet.
Yeah, I got numbering. And then I watched. So the 2 shows I actually finished. I watched The Duke of Death and His Maid. So from the first episode, you might think that this whole show is just one joke. So the show is this guy who comes from this like aristocratic family gets cursed. So where everything he touches dies. If he touches something, it dies. Mm-hmm. And so his family sends him to live in this house by himself. At first, it's just him and his butler, and then they hire a maid to live with them. And this maid has fallen in love with the boy, the guy. And they fall in love with each other. But he can't touch her. But the maid is big booty. And
she got that big old pad, big old, baby.
And so it's the trope of like busty girl teases shy dude. Except the shy dude, if he touches her, she'll fucking die. And
honestly, that's just my real life experience.
So at first, because for the first episode, that's basically the whole joke for the first episode. And so you think that's going to be the one joke for the whole series. But then they start introducing more characters. And the other characters they introduce are really good. So they introduce his sister, who's like, she's way more eccentric than him. And the main thing about her is that she has a crush on the butler, who's like this very old dude with an eye patch. And she has a crush on him.
Good taste.
And then they introduce the two witches. So they introduce one. She's like a red-haired witch who can turn into a bat, and she has like fire powers, and she's very stupid. And they introduce her friend who has a bird, like he has like a bird head, and he's like her like caretaker kinda. And it's really cute. Like the dynamic between all the characters is really cute. And then they introduce the worst character, which is the brother, the second born brother, who his whole thing is that he hates the number 2 because it reminds him he's the second born.
Wow, sounds like a really dynamic.
Yeah, he sucks. I hate him. The show's great though. It's like CG animated, but it looks really good. All the backgrounds look like they're painted on canvas.
Yeah, I remember when I did like the first episode I did watch. I remember thinking the backgrounds like look surprisingly good for a CG animated show.
Yeah, it's really cool, and it's just an adorable anime because unlike a lot of anime like this, the two main characters, are very upfront about their feelings towards each other, and so it makes for a lot of really cute and very wholesome moments. And I highly recommend it if you like that shit. Because it is cute. And also, the opening and endings are bangers.
I might get back into it then. Because I was very much worried that it was going to end up being the same joke every episode.
No. I mean, they'll go like a whole episode and maybe make that joke like once.
Okay.
Maybe. Then the other show I watched was The Case Study of Vanitas. Which was the gay vampires. Well, the one gay vampire.
Let's go.
The show is great. The show reminds me a lot of Full Metal Alchemist.
Really?
Really great fight choreography. Every character is incredibly likable and incredibly hot.
Really, that's all you need.
Like the third episode introduces this character who is a vampire. So there's the two main characters. There's Noe, who is the vampire, and then there's Vanitas, who is a human who has taken the name of the vampire of the Blue Moon, who's like he's basically like a vampire who murdered other vampires. And he's taken that, and he's taken the Book of Vanitas, which allows him to kind of like basically cast spells and shit. And because he calls himself a vampire doctor. He's like, it is my duty to save vampires, because there's like a thing going around where vampires can get cursed and essentially lose their name, and when they lose their name, they become monsters. And so with this book, he's able to get their name back to them and revert them back into vampires. The third episode introduces one of my favorite characters in the show, who is she comes from a clan of vampires whose job it is to execute criminal vampires.
Okay.
And she carries around a coffin with a giant gauntlet in it that she uses to fight.
That's pretty sick.
And then she becomes friends with the two main characters. And she's like incredible. She starts becoming like incredibly like moe and cute. It is great.
Nice.
And then near the end of the series, they start introducing, or the end of the season, they start introducing like the church and how like the church hates vampires and shit. But they meet one character who is this like hot cute boy with blonde hair who's like overly fucking powerful, like I guess Inquisitor or whatever, who like befriends them, and they go through like a Full Metal Alchemist-esque arc where they like befriend the villain and shit. It's really cool. The show's cool. I'm very excited for the second season.
Oh, they're going to do a second season?
I don't know if they've actually announced it. But it's good.
But it like ended in such a way where you think, like,
it ended on a
probably get one.
cliffhanger. Like the series is definitely not ended. I don't even think the manga's ended yet.
Okay, yeah, I might give that one another chance sometime. I didn't hate the first episode. I thought it was pretty cool. I especially liked one of my favorite like old world concepts is the idea of like names having power.
Yeah.
And I thought that was really cool in the first episode. I just didn't. I felt like the gayness was like way too Fujo baity, so I was like, I don't know about this.
Yeah, that's great. Also, the world is steampunk, so if you're into that shit.
Nice. And what was the third show again?
Oh, the Sunny Boy, which I dropped.
Sunny Boy,
which is really cool. Dropped. Sunny Boy is probably like it seems like something that is important. I just could not watch more of it. I'm sorry.
Yeah, Sunny Boy and Kobayashi's Dragon Maid are the two shows from last season that I want to watch more of, and I just haven't yet. But like Sunny Boy, just like that first episode is a fucking
the first
banger.
episode is so fucking good, and then after that they're on like this island for a few episodes, and then it like really slows down a lot.
Okay.
Which, I mean, it's a slow show. Like, it's very purposefully slow. It's just, at the time I was watching it weekly, I just couldn't keep up with it.
Yeah, it probably doesn't feel as slow when you're watching it in a binge format.
Yeah.
But, yeah, those all sound like absolute, like, bangers of shows. If anyone wants to go back and watch some old stuff that's completed, you got some recommendations there. Yeah. Now we have to do the dirty deed of talking about the current airing anime.
Let's go. I'm gonna take a drink of my Arby's Coca-Cola.
Take as long as a drink as you want, because I'm about to talk almost nonstop for a little bit. So I'm going to typically, if you've been watching, you've been listening to Weed Anime for long enough, you know that typically we order this from what we have the most to say to what we have the least to say about to what we have the most to say about. But these first 5 shows are shows that Doku has not seen. So I'm just going to get it out of the way. First 2 are second seasons. Normally we don't even talk about second seasons, but these are really good shows. 86 and Jobless Reincarnation. I'm going to give away the GOAT and say that both of these shows are amazing. If you liked the first season, you should watch these. If you didn't watch them, because I know not that many people watched 86. Like, enough people watch it that it's not like I never see anything about it, but not that many people watch 86. Watch fucking 86. It's like, it's amazing to me that there is a show about war with mechs in it, that the story is war bad, but it's not like, it's specifically like, it's not like, it doesn't moralize the concept of war like a lot of shows do, and instead focuses on the relationships that war causes people to lose. And because of that, it's very interesting and complex, and it has a lot to say about a lot of things. Especially, it's also got a lot of racism stuff, because there's the one criticism I had for the first season doesn't apply for the second season. There in the first season, in the second episode, the main character looks at the screen for about 5 minutes and goes on like a rant about how racism is bad. And I get why that's there, because you need to let anime fans actually know that racism is bad. Otherwise, they're going to think that fucking Attack on Titan is about how we should kill immigrants.
Let's go.
But yeah, 86, phenomenal. Like A1 Pictures usually either makes garbage or really good shows. This is one of their best shows they've ever made. Jobless Reincarnation, on the other hand, I say on the other hand, as if to imply that it's bad. This show is fucking stellar. A lot of people criticize Jobless Reincarnation because the main character is like this fucking creepy, sex obsessed dude who was like 40 and then died and got reincarnated as a child. And like, yeah, there's a lot of weird jokes about that. Also, it's weird to think about someone who's mentally an adult in a child's body. But then, like, there's moments of like genuinely complex character writing. Like the two most recent episodes, at the end of the first season, this is a bit of a spoiler, but it's not that bad. At the end of the first season, a teleportation accident happens that causes an entire kingdom's populace to be teleported to random places in the world. Our main character, the second season starts, and our main character has to. It actually starts in the first season. But the main character has to regroup, make his way back to the real world, and on his way, he meets up with his dad, who he hasn't seen in, at this point, several years, because before then he was like teaching magic to a rich dude's daughter. And at this point, he's 11 years old. So his dad hasn't seen his son in like 3 years. And he's like convinced that his son was out having a good time while his entire family has been missing. And like they meet and they fucking duke it out. Like his dad is completely jaded and broken as a person. And like that's like, oh, okay, that's fine. But like then the next episode is like both of these people realizing that like their father and son, and like you can't just put like your expectations on your son for what you think they should have done. Because he sees his son, he's like, you did nothing but have help. You didn't look for your family. And he's like, I didn't know my family was gone, and I didn't even think about it because like I was just fighting for my life because he got teleported to the goddamn demon continent where it's nothing but sand and demons, and he was fighting for his goddamn life, and his father doesn't understand it. And like they have this great moment where they come to terms with the fact that like, you know, their family, and they have to like make up, and Rudy, who again has the fucking soul of a goddamn old dude in him, it like makes his father get up, spread his arms out, get on his knees, and then jumps into his arm and says, "Papa, I've missed you so much." And his dad breaks down, like all this like anger and angst and like issues he's been dealing with break down in a solid moment of genuine character acting where like he grips his son and just weeps and apologizes and tells him how much he missed him. And it's like, it's genuinely affecting. It's like so fucking good. Now with that out of the way, you know, I've just talked about the two good second season shows that Doku didn't watch because he hasn't watched the first season.
That's cool.
Let's now get into the actual new shit. We're gonna start with Kyokai Senki, the latest in a long line of Sunrise wanting to make Gundam but not want to call it Gundam so that they can get new people into it. There's nothing to say about this show. It's neutered Gundam. Like, Gundam is good because there's history to it. There's typically political intrigue. You know, like, yes, a lot of the time Gundam is just these kids ending up in giant robots and fighting other kids and giant robots. But this show's just like, yeah, I'm a kid and I built my own goddamn Gundam, or not Gundam, but giant robot out of random parts that I've scavenged after a war. And it's like, this is like stupid. This is really dumb. It's not bad. If you like Sunrise shows and you don't mind like turning your brain off a little bit, it's pretty watchable. After that, there's Shiki Zakakura, which is great. Basically, this is a Sentai show. It's all in 3D animated. But like the animation is insanely good. Like the models are really high quality too. There's not a lot to say about it. It's pretty like story light, but like the action is like well directed. It uses the camera a lot, which in anime, even CG directed anime, they have a bad habit of just not using their camera for anything. Like the shots are typically very static, and for good reason on normal anime, but for CG anime, there's no reason to do that. But this allows like the action to have like a level of like depth to it that's really good. Like when I was watching this with Nicole, I described it like after a cool action scene, I was like, wow, this is what Ruby would look like if Ruby was a good show.
Stop being mean to Ruby.
I'm gonna keep being mean to Ruby. Fuck that bitch and the fucking horse she rode in on. One up to Monty Ohm. You're fucking turning your grave watching your fucking thing you really love get fucking slutted out. Goddamn. But yeah, Shikizakura, really good. I recommend it, giving it a shot, see how you feel about it, especially if you like Sentai. I love Sentai. Next up is Rumble Gorandal, which this is an interesting show. And by interesting show, I mean it's very bad and not worth watching.
That's why they watch it.
I was deadass gonna tell everyone that they didn't have to watch it if they were gonna be on the seasonal episode, but I forgot. And then like I was like, you know what? No, I want to talk about this. And the reason I want to talk about this is because while I was watching it, I was like, man, this is boring. This is like, it's so trite. It's really stupid. But then there are these little tiny moments where it starts to become like watchable. I'm like, you know what? Maybe I'm just being too hard on this show. Maybe I'm being too cynical. Maybe, you know, I'm just being a dick. And then it ended, and I was like, okay, I'm going to watch the next show. And then the next show that we're going to talk about, which is Hike Monogatari, started up and is like immediately visually interesting. And I was like, oh no, I wasn't too hard on Rumble Granadal. That show's ass. I need to be harder on seasonal anime because anime need to look more like fucking Hike Monogatari.
It owns.
I've only watched one episode so far. I'm going to watch more. But like that, Hike Monogatari, it's a science saru show, which would tell you one of two things. It's either amazing or it's terrible. In case you're not familiar, Doku, Science Saru is the studio that did Devilman,
I know.
Crybaby.
They did Devilman and Ping Pong the animation, which is like the two biggest.
Yes.
Oh, and what's fucking Tokami Galaxy? Is that what it is?
Tatami Galaxy, yeah. Like, they did a lot of good shit, and then they also did bad shit, like Japan Sinks 2020.
Yeah. And the show is directed by a former Kyoto Animation person who worked on K-On!
Normally I would probably put the show a little bit higher on the list, but it led in from Grandal, and also, like, there's not that much to say about just the first episode.
Not really. There's there's a lot of setup for interesting stuff to happen later.
It's very much one of those shows that is gonna be slow, but by the end is gonna have like a hopefully a really good message to it.
Well, you know what Hike Monogatari is, right?
No.
Okay, it is a very, very old piece of Japanese literature.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
So this is an adaptation of that. It's basically like it's considered Japan's Iliad. So this is like a very like important piece of literature in Japan.
This makes me more interested in it because now I'm less worried about it shitting the bed.
Yeah.
Now, it could still shit the bed. I don't fucking know. I don't know anything about the Hike Monogatari, but like now I'm very interested in watching more of this.
For a show to start, because it starts pretty fucking grim.
Yes.
Like tonally. But it has a lot of charm in it, especially in the I guess the two main characters, Biwa
which is
and the dude. What's his name?
yeah, I don't know the characters' names, but like our two main characters are a dude who can see the ghosts of the fallen, and a girl who can see the future.
Yeah. And
so there's a lot of homophobia in the eyes in the show.
So I guess so. Like the big thing between these two characters is that the little girl, her father was killed by the dude's clan that he belongs to, and she sees in her future the fall of the clan, and the guy kind of wants to, I guess, to make up to her father's death to try to protect her, and
yeah,
it is
there's almost nothing but set up in the first episode, so there's not much more to say other than that. But not only like. It's not only that the setup was like a worse studio would have been making this setup, and the show end up like not looking very good. But this show is visually like very impressive.
Yes, it is
like the
quality. I love it.
Small animations are like 10 out of 10.
Also,
there's
the music is surprisingly like contemporary. There's a lot of like kind of like hi-hats and like kind of hip-hop beats in the like OST, like not just like the opening and ending.
So what we're saying is Heike Monogatari, Samurai Champloo 2.
Yes. Also the opening and ending are bangers.
Yeah, no. I'm going to tell you right now, Heike Monogatari, you should definitely check the show out.
Yes.
If I feel like if you're someone who likes to binge things, this is definitely a show that's probably going to be a lot better to binge. So if you want to wait, that's fair. But like, it's really good.
I will probably try to keep up with this one too. I think this is going to be one of the free shows I try to keep up with. Maybe 4. There might be 4. Who knows?
Next up on the list is Miriko-chan.
Yeah.
It exists.
It's not a very convincing first episode.
So if anyone's not if anyone's not familiar with Miriko-chan, it's based off of like a web like comic. Well, I guess it's a manga at this point, about a girl who can see ghosts and they're super icky and gross, and she just pretends she doesn't see them, and that's the comic. And that's the anime.
Yep. It is. I mean, if you like it, if this is something you've watched it and seen, you'll like it. Sure.
Yeah, no, like it's. I wouldn't say like that's something I'll say about this season of anime. I don't think there's anything terrible.
No, there's just a bunch of mid.
Yeah, and this is one of those shows that I would say is. It's pretty definitionally
This
mid.
is A5.
Yeah, no, you could have done a lot more interesting things with the premise than you decided to do with this. It feels like a direct translation wherein, like, I read some of the like a chapter or two of the manga it's based off of. There's a little like, there's room to improve it with visuals.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I really don't have much to say outside of that. Like, it's fine. If you want to see a cute girl piss her pants, it's a show for you. Speaking of cute girls that probably piss their pants, a show that I really like, but Doku doesn't feel, is Sakugan. Hey!
Yeah. I mean, I liked it. I can see, like, there's a lot to like in this show, but for some reason, it just went into my brain and then exited my brain. I don't know why.
I can kind of understand that. I would understand that more if you were like me and were like poisoned, because this show is just Gurren Lagann by way of oh god, I keep forgetting the name of that other anime that people
Titan
like.
AE.
No. It's a stupid fucking show about the dumb girl and it's pedophilia in it. God, what's
You
it
gotta
fucking
really
called?
narrow it down.
God damn
So
it. I'm gonna quickly Google anime about the big hole. Because it always pops up when I type that. Yeah, every single time I Google search anime about the big hole because I forgot the name of it, it's always the first result. Okay, so it's Gurren Lagann by way of Made in Abyss.
okay. That's true. I had never seen that shit.
So the premise is you got a little girl who's all sassy and really like conniving and mischievous, and her like kind of deadbeat father who's pretty okay with where his life is, just taking care of his super genius daughter, and they live in like this underground city, and she wants to escape and she wants to go out into the world, but there's monsters outside, so her father says no, and then the monsters invade. And they hop in a mech and they go and leave the city that's being destroyed to hopefully try and find a place that she's been dreaming about that, according to a clue that she received, actually exists. It's a pretty standard plot, but I really like the dynamics between the father and the daughter.
Yes, they have really good dynamic between each other. I really like. So the episode starts with her trying to escape, and the father like setting a trap and catching her, and then she has already set a trap for him and caught him, so they're both just caught in a trap. And then they do that later in the episode again, so to imply that they do that fucking every night. And it's really good.
It's incredibly cute.
It seems like
I like how
something that for me, I'll probably have to give it like another episode or two to see how the like actual adventure is.
Yeah,
but I wasn't really feeling much with this first episode.
I understand that. I'm a absolute fucking sucker for stories about parents that are like, especially when it's about parents that actually care about their kids.
Yeah.
Because, I've never experienced that. So I like to live vicariously through anime characters. So like I was really feeling it. And of the shows that I'm going to stay watching, it's might be one I end up dropping. It really depends. Because I've downloaded the next couple episodes, and me and Nicole are going to watch them whenever we get the time. But yeah, like it's a show that could potentially go nowhere or could get better depending on how the journey is.
Yeah.
Because like if it's just like nothing, then like I'm gonna check out real quick. Speaking of checking out real quick, it's the next episode. The next anime on the list is Blue Period.
Yeah, Moth fucking loves the show. Sure.
It's not bad.
No, it has some really good character designs.
It has good character designs. I like the premise. So the premise of the show is you got a kid who has no drive in life, and he doesn't really care about what he does. He's like a chameleon. He doesn't try and stand out. He just lives his life. And then a sassy girl is like, I do art. Here's my art. I'm so sassy. And he's like, oh, you can do art and it's something you can care about? What? And so like he does this like amateur drawing in like water, like blue watercolors, trying to say blue watercolors. And it like portrays his feelings for how he views Tokyo in the morning. And it means a lot to him, and people really like it. And he's like, oh, I did this thing. I'm really proud of myself. I'm going to try and do art. And that's the show.
Yep. Also, should we mention that sassy girl is trans?
Yo!
Yeah, you missed the whole scene where the main character dead names her.
I did. I'm going to have to Yeah, oh, god damn it. Now the black of my brain that wants to enjoy everything LGBT is like, yo, maybe
Yeah,
though.
I mean, Mom fucking loves this show.
I bet Moth missed that too.
Yeah, I think it's pretty cool. Like it's definitely seemed like something that can go somewhere. But I don't think this is something I will try to keep up with.
I might give it another shot just because that extra like injection of interest, like that's a little bit more than I thought. And I really like positive LGBT representation in media, and she seems like she kicks
Yeah.
ass. But she could just end up being a nothing character for all I know. I might give it another few episodes. I might show it to Nicole because I feel like Nicole would like the idea of seeing a positive Japanese trans character. But yeah, I'm pretty like nonplussed on it. But what I am plussed on is my senpai is annoying.
I like this show a lot. This one's probably in my top 3.
This show is super cute. If you are someone who likes your relationship dynamics to include a size difference, you're done. Like this is the show for you. There's not a lot to say about it. It's a very comfortable show. You could put this show at the end of your day, you just throw it on, and you'd be like, you don't even necessarily have to relax, like pay that much attention to it. You can just relax. It's very watchable.
It is a very adorable romance anime. So like the whole thing is it's about this saleswoman who is very short. She looks like a child.
Yes. Uncomfortably so.
Yeah. So and she's a saleswoman. She works in an office and everything. And her like superior, I guess, the person who's basically like mentoring her,
senpai.
Yeah, is this big burly man who is very like jolly, basically, I guess. He's great. He's very wholesome. He like uplifts her. He tells her he's like proud of her and tries to help her constantly. And it's great. It's a really good dynamic between the two.
My favorite thing about the show is at the very end, like after I think how the show doesn't the show end with her being like, why can't I be your wife?
Yes, that's how it ends. That shit got me. I was popping off.
Yeah, no, that was way too cute. And then it cuts to her alarm for the next day, and the calendar says beware of like bear attacks. Yeah. It's like, yeah, because he's gonna fuck her.
Good for her.
But no, like I like all the characters. This has you probably haven't seen it, but this has very big like, oh god, what's the name of the show? It's a show about otakus dating. The like dumb name that Moth calls it is wotaku.
I have no clue what the fuck you're talking about.
It's a good show. It has similar vibes to that, where you have like you have the primary pair and then a secondary pair, which the secondary pair are also really cute. Because they just have there's like he's slightly pervy, has serious looking eyes, and is kind of a goofball, and the really nice chick with huge madonkas.
Yeah.
They're pretty cute in the ED. They have a cute moment, and I want to see where their relationship goes. It's a really comfy show. It's really good to watch.
Yeah. I enjoy it a lot. It's, like I said, it's probably going to be one of the shows I will. Well, yeah, it's not probably. It's going to be one of the shows I try to keep up with this season because I find it really fucking cute.
I'll tell you right now, if their relationship goes nowhere by the end,
I will be pissed.
Bad show.
Yes.
They need to be holding hands by at least the end. If they aren't holding hands by midway, I'll be upset. But at least by the end. You know, I can accept not a kiss because Japanese people are prudes, but whatever.
If she has to push out her poops by the end of the show, it's a bad show.
Oh, God. the next anime on the list, a show that's near and dear to my heart. Komi-san Can't Communicate.
This is. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, I was gonna say I've watched every episode of this that's come out so far. This show is kind of perfect.
This is probably the best show of the season.
Yes,
it is. So did you know it's the same animation studio as Pokemon and the '98 Berserk series?
Are you fucking?
No,
with
I'm
me?
not.
Jesus Christ, that's absolutely insane. Because this show looks better than both of those put together.
The newer seasons of Pokemon have been looking pretty good. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, but that's just like I want to say that's a different studio.
Is
on
it?
it now.
I don't know. But yeah, the show looks fucking great.
The show looks amazing. I was really worried about a Komi-san adaptation because I'm a huge Komi-san fan. And I was really worried that, they would fuck it up. Especially the first chapter where you're introduced to Komi and her communication disorder and they're talking on the chalkboard.
Yeah. God, that scene fucking made me cry.
It's so good, and they did the jokes perfectly.
It's really good. I really want to try to get my wife to watch this because I think this The show is so cute.
I'm gonna tell you right now, when this comes out on Netflix, because it's a Netflix show right now. When this show comes out on Netflix, it's going to take over the internet.
It's on Netflix in the US. They're releasing it weekly in the US.
Really?
Yes, I was surprised when I found that out.
Holy
this and Blue
shit.
Period both. They're releasing weekly in the US on Netflix. All 3 episodes are out.
I didn't even know.
On US Netflix right now.
Okay, good job, Netflix.
Yeah, no, I was surprised because they didn't fucking do that for Shaman King, a show that's still airing.
I was like expecting this to get a dub, and that's when they would come out, and it would be a bad dub.
Yeah.
But this is a remarkably fantastic show. The gags are the best. And I know the gags. I've read most of the manga. Like for example, I imagine you've not read any of the manga, right?
I knew nothing about this show, and so I watched it. The only thing I knew about it was Twitter losers always grouped together with what's the show? Fucking Nagatoro and the other one, big movie one. What's that one called?
Yeah, the two bad shows.
Yeah, and I was like, I don't know,
like
what the fuck does this show have in common with those?
It's really strange that people do, for whatever reason, like group them together as like the 3 shows. It's like, no, those other 2 shows bad.
Nagatoro's fine.
This show is
leave her alone.
Fuck off.
Leave her alone.
Fuck
Stop being mean
off.
to Nagatoro.
Tell her to stop being mean in general. But anyway, like the thing about Komi-san, like, is that like her goal is to make 100 friends,
Yes.
and that's what the manga is about, and it's really fucking the gags are insane. They established ongoing gags early on that continue going, and it's always funny. Like, you remember the second episode, that guy that confessed to
I have not seen the second episode.
Okay. In the second episode, there's a big burly dude who confesses to Najimi. And you haven't met Najimi yet, but Najimi is their name is so the cool thing about Komi-san, and by cool I mean arguably aggravating if you hate puns, is that everyone's name is a pun. Like Todano's name is Todano Hito, and I'm remembering correctly, that name means normal person.
That's good.
So this character is Osana Najimi, which translates to childhood best friend, and their whole thing is that they are everyone's childhood best friend. Everyone's. To the point where they have to schedule their lunches so that they can hang out with whoever wants to hang out with them that day. And it's really, and also they are gender ambiguous, and depending on what is funnier in the moment, they will claim to be the opposite gender.
That's good.
It's great. Super cute character design. It's a great character. So in the second episode, Komi-san is someone that she has never been able to be friends with because of how frightening Komi-san looks to most people. So the second episode is just about them like trying to break the ice and become friends. And while they're doing that, this big burly like bully guy runs up on them. Is like, Najimi, you moved class. I wanted to let you know that like I like you and I want you to go out with me. And Najimi goes, I can't do that. I'm a guy. And he's like, oh, well, that just makes it better.
Yeah.
And like Komi-san trying to like talk to them just stands there menacingly. And it freaks him out and makes him... No, what happens is he drops his house key and Komi-san picks it up and offers it out to him. And he sees her like looking menacingly with his house key in his hand. And he imagined that what the message she's trying to convey to him is that you better fucking leave or I'll kill you with your own house key. And he just runs off. And this turns into one of my favorite running gags in Komi-san, where that guy becomes convinced that Komi is actually a badass, psycho killer. And he constantly goes to her for like tough guy advice.
That's good.
It's super fucking good. Everything about this. I love Komi-san so much. It's the best.
I'm definitely going to watch more of this. I would have watched more before we recorded, but again, I was fucking crunching.
Oh yeah, no, you're fine. Like I appreciate you just doing this much. Yeah. Speaking of appreciation, let's talk about Muteking.
Okay, so last night it got pretty late, and I was like, okay, I got to the last 5 shows on the list, and I was like, okay, I only have time to watch one of these. So I checked my anime list and picked the one that had the lowest score. This one had a score of like 5 point something. So I picked this
Insane.
one. This one's a fucking banger.
Muteking is fucking great. Like it has the exact like it has the energy of Pokemon, but despite being nothing like Pokemon.
So this is the show I have the most amount of notes for because it's so good. It is
fantastic.
Like stupid and aware of itself. It's great.
So the plot of Muteking, if you can call it a plot, is that a kid named Muteki moves into Neo San Francisco, which is just San Fransokyo from like Big Hero 6.
It just looks like New York with those cable cars. That's all it is.
And like he's moved in, and I don't know why he's moved in yet. They don't even fucking talk about that in the first episode. He's moving in with his grandma. That DJ, we'll get the DJ. DJ can get it.
Fuck up.
But he moves in and he's like, oh no, I'm hungry. I'm gonna go to Taco Taco, a place that's so evil the food is black.
Is it now, Mike? English Mike. Is it evil that the food is black?
Yes. I've never seen a show that is saying capitalism is bad with a wink, but is also like committing to it. It's so fucking good. Like the whole thing is like fucking god damn. There's like an idol that fucking appears out of her own mouth and like sings, and it puts people to sleep, and then they all turn into sludge because they're mindless consumers, and they get fucking harvested by a weird poo ghost. And the DJ who appears and like plays a fucking record and gives the main character skates, and his taco cells get fucking energized and turn him into Muteking. God, this show's nuts. This show's insane.
It's very much like it has the energy of Sonic Underground. Whereas it's like one of those 80s shows about like rock and roll or whatever, where at the end of every episode the heroes win by singing a song, and it's great. I love it.
It's funny you should say that, because this actually is a remake / continuation of an old show called Muteking from the 80s.
Good.
And like, to let everyone know, because you probably have, if you're listening to this, you probably haven't watched Muteking. The show opens on a couple in like an old 80s style convertible talking about how much they love each other while fucking plastic love plays.
Yes.
And like, not like legally distinct plastic love. It's plastic love without the singing in it. It's fucking, this is the most 80s it could possibly be, and it is living in it. It's fucking breathing how 80s it is.
It's very good. It has some English in there. It's good.
Oh yeah, no, DJ, aka DJ.
DJ is great.
God, and DJ's so hot.
That is not why DJ is great.
Okay, you tell me why DJ's great. Is it because he's fucking a grandma?
Yes.
Okay, I can get behind that. I love how little is explained about everything. Like, DJ's just like, oh, well, obviously you're going to put on these roller skates and turn into a giant Ultraman-sized hero and sing about how good you are at rollerblading.
What else would happen?
This show it's fucking insane. You should watch it.
The fucking name of the villain killed me. CO8, the CEO of Quintino.
Yeah, he's great.
It fucking killed me. He's the biggest fucking Melvin I've ever seen in an anime. And as soon as he walks on camera, a character calls him hot. And I lost it.
He even has a fucking bowl cut. Yeah. He's such a fucking loser.
Okay, so one thing, I fucking lost it. And I don't know if this is purposeful. It's probably purposeful. But the fucking soda or ice cream sodas are like if the writer heard once about like root beer floats but doesn't know what they look like.
So ice cream sodas were a thing a long time ago.
Were they? I just assumed that it was like they didn't know what hold on, ice cream soda.
No. It's a thing, but I do think it looks weird. I think they used to call them cream sodas.
Cream sodas are a different thing. Because I've had cream soda.
But I know, well, not cream soda, cream sodas. It's
creams not, soda. So what are we saying?
Yeah, cum soda. That's what it is. Okay. Also, the bit where he's like, where the fucking the person, the girl that's super. Okay, I was about to say super hot in quotations. She's actually pretty hot at the diner.
Yeah.
And she's just like, "Oh, what do you want?" No matter what you tell her, she will just bring you a cream soda.
It's good.
It's so fucking funny.
And the dude was like, "Well, if she brought me an ice cream soda, obviously I asked for an ice cream soda."
That was really funny. Honestly, if a hot girl brought me something I didn't order, I'd probably be like, well, obviously this is what I ordered. Come on. But yeah, Muteking is just, it's really fun. I can't wait to watch more of it. You should check it out. Next up on the list is Tact Oppression Dynasty.
Tact Opus Destiny.
This is a gacha fucking anime.
It is better than it has any right to be.
So I watched the first episode and I was like, this is fine. What about, because I know you said you really liked this one. What about it spoke to you?
I don't know. I kind of just I thought it seemed neat. and I had nothing else to do at work that day. So I watched the 3 episodes that were out on Crunchyroll. So this is based on a gacha game that I don't even think is out yet. It might be out. I don't know. Where the whole thing is you pull anime girls who are personifications of classical pieces of music. So the main girl is Beethoven's Fifth Symphony, Destiny. So her name is Destiny. So the second episode shows how they like got their powers. So the first episode, it doesn't explain really much about. Like it explains a little bit. Oh fuck! I dropped my phone. Whatever. Big Bang. It's fine. It explains a little bit about the world, but it doesn't explain how the characters got their powers. And then the second episode spins like the second and third episodes are basically the origin story of those characters. And the character of Destiny was a completely different girl. She had like a completely different personality and everything. And then something happens and it awakens the like power within her and she becomes Destiny. And when that happens, it plays like a snippet of Beethoven's Fifth Symphony. And it's really cool when that happens.
Okay. That sounds really stupid in a fun way.
Yes, that's the show. It is stupid in a fun way.
I will say that first episode had some really good animation to it, so I was kind of
it stays consistent because it's Mappa.
Oh, I didn't realize Mappa was
Yeah,
doing
it's Mappa and Madhouse together.
Ooh.
So the animation stays consistent.
Maybe I will give this another shot because that sounds pretty fucking good.
The second episode introduces another composer and music arts. I think that's what they're called. Which is, I forget the dude's name, but the girl's name is Titan. She uses a shotgun. That is her weapon. She's a lolly. She's a twin-tailed lolly with a shotgun.
Okay, you're speaking my language.
And the dude is like this big, kind of burly dude. And one of the first shots that introduces him, it usually just hangs on either his chest, his like exposed chest, or his ass.
Nice.
The show's really cool. I really enjoy it. It's a lot of fun. It's just kind of just like stupid fun. And it's a road trip anime too.
You know what? You're kind of selling me back on it. I might pick this one back up because I was ready to drop it. But here's the burning question, Doku. How much money are you going to spend on this gacha?
It depends if they have if there is a New World Symphony anime girl, I will have her.
What if they have a fucking Christmas event, but it's that fucking that Christmas orchestra that happens every year that I forget the name of.
You mean the Trans-Siberian Orchestra?
Yeah. They have a trans girl orchestra lady.
Yo!
Yeah.
Yo, I don't know if you've actually listened to Trans-Siberian Orchestra's Christmas albums. They're really fucking good.
I've listened to like it's impossible to say that you've listened to the Trans-Siberian Orchestra is like saying you drink water. You've heard one of their songs.
No, like every Christmas I listen to the Christmas Trilogy, which is their 3 Christmas albums, on repeat. I love those albums.
Maybe I'll give that a shot so I can listen to some Christmas music that doesn't make me want to.
It's and there's like a bunch of like original music in there too. It's solid. It's solid music. Listen to Trans-Siberian Orchestra and also watch Tact Opus Destiny
at the same time.
Yes. The reason a lot of people will call it Tact Op Destiny because that's how it's spelled, but it's about music. So op is you're supposed to say opus.
Nerd.
I took a music class in college, baby.
The next episode, and I keep saying episode, the next show on the list is a little show called Platinum End, which is by the same person. It is written by the same person who wrote Death Note.
It is Death Note again.
It's fucking. This show is so fucking edgy.
Yes, it is very edgy. When you watch it on Crunchyroll, it gives you a warning that it is edgy.
If you're someone that was like, man, I miss Death Note, it was like edgy and cool. This show's so fucking for you. Like in the first episode, like the main character, like the first thing that happens is the main character's like, I'm gonna kill myself because no one loves me.
The main character, the first episode has suicide. It has child abuse. It has.
Oh look, we can't just say it has child abuse. God damn.
Yeah. It has attempted incest.
Based.
It has suicide again.
Based.
This show's really cool.
So the premise of the show is that this dude, he's had it with his life. He tries to kill himself and he fails because an angel picks him up and saves his life. And like this angel's like a mix between like just normal like angels where they're wearing like white and have wings and a biblical angel because she's got like weird fucking skin and she has multiple halos and shit. She's cool though, and she's like, hey, you know what? I saved your life. I'm gonna give you a reason to live, so I'm gonna give you a gift. You can either have Cupid's arrow or you can have wings to fly around with. And this motherfucker's like, I don't want either, so give me both or I'll kill myself. And she's like, okay. And then like he flies around. He's like, yeah, okay, wow, I have a reason to live again. And fucking he lands and he's just chilling out. And he's like, oh, this isn't so bad. And she just comes up next to him. Is like, wow, yeah, you really like the flying power. You should, try out using that Cupid's arrow because you can make anyone love you. Like your aunt and uncle that you live with who killed your entire family. And it has like a fucking, he has like a double take that you could like put like a fucking car wreck sound over. like excuse me? And he fucking goes to his fucking family and his bitch aunt is just like, go get me a lighter. I want to get high. And he's like, aunt, I need you to tell me the truth. Did you kill my family? And she's like, what the fuck? And he shoots her with the arrow. And immediately she gets up and is like, I want to fuck you. Which is great. Because this isn't like, it's not like his uncle is the one that he's related to. This is his biological aunt.
Yeah.
Oh man. And it goes from there to like, not only did we kill your family, but we did it for money. And the only reason we kept you alive is so the money would go to us. And it's like, Jesus Christ. And after he has this mental breakdown, he just looks at her fighting with her husband and says, you guys should just kill yourselves. And she fucking grabs a knife and you're like, oh God, she's going to fucking attack this guy. And she looks at the main character and she might as well go, I'm doing it for you, Damien. And fucking stabs herself in the goddamn neck. And there's blood everywhere. This show is so fucking edgy. It's awesome.
Yeah. It's it definitely honestly, it has that like 2000s energy.
Yes. Oh, 100%.
Of like Adult Swim and like Blood Plus and shit.
Yes. This totally is a show that would have come on in like 2008 Adult Swim. And like the to top it all off as well, it's revealed at the end that like, oh, and also, not only is this edgy, this is also a death game now, and you're a contestant to become the new god, and you have to kill everyone else.
It's like Among Us.
Yes, it's a. I'm not even gonna play with that. I forget you said that. And the last anime on our list is a show that I really like. It's a show by Studio Wit, and we're probably going to talk about this pretty quickly because the episode is starting to become long.
Whoops. We actually talked about Dune and books for an hour.
This is a surprisingly lengthy episode. The last anime on our list is Osuma Ranking, which is a show about a kid who's deaf and mute, and he's a prince, and he could become king, but he's weak. And it's done by Studio Wit, who did the good seasons of Attack on Titan. The show looks really good. It's pretty fucking cool. And I like it a lot.
Yeah. It's yeah. I was surprised at how good the animation was.
Oh yeah. Like the animation for the show is oddly good for the premise. Like, cuz you would think of the premise like this, it would just be like pretty basic animation. Yeah. But whenever someone picks up a sword or has to dodge an animal, it's like, wow, this show looks amazing.
So the big thing with the prince in the show, I forget his fucking name, but whatever. So there's the prince, and then there's his younger brother, who's like actually like strong and good with a sword and shit. The main character put all of his points into evasion.
Yeah.
To get those fast rolls with a lot of iframes.
Dude's got so many fucking iframes, it's untouchable.
So that like he can just dodge anything. And so the episode ends with like a fight between the two brothers, and he wins because he just dodges every hit.
Yeah, it's and when he lands a hit, it's not even a hit. He tries to swing into as a hit, and it's just like barely taps him with the sword because he's a weak little baby. It's also good to note that this kid, I don't know how old he is. He's like 2 feet tall. And his dad, I don't know how old he is. He's like 20 feet tall.
He is an actual giant.
It makes for like a really funny visual comparison, because like his father coughs blood to his hand and then holds out for his son, and his son goes over there to hold his hand, and he just puts his hand on his pinky because that's all he could grab.
This is a really good kid show.
Oh,
this is really a perfect kid show.
If this gets a dub, this is I'm going to add this to shows to tell people I know with kids to watch.
No, definitely. Like, I really hope this gets a good dub for that very reason, because I would like to show the show to my kid if it turns out to be really good, and it probably will be really good because it's Wit.
And it's kind of hard. There's not too much to say about the first episode. I feel like to have a great opinion of this one, you probably need to see the second one. But like the first episode's really good.
Yeah, I think it really sets up the premise really well, and the characters. Yes. It just has the random shot of the dude just standing on a spear, and it's good.
That shot comes out of nowhere, and it's like, excuse me. We didn't mention the kid has like a friend who is part of the Shadow Clan, which are people that live inside of like shadows, and he looks like a weird monster.
Yep. It's really good. His name's Kage,
which I think might be. I think that might mean king.
It means shadow.
Oh, it means shadow. Oh, that makes sense. Okage. Okay, because I was thinking of Okage, which, okay, I'm bad with words. But with that, like I think that's the seasonal. This is a pretty honestly. There's a lot of mid in this season, but there's a lot of really good.
Yes, there's a lot of there's a lot of cute shit this season.
Oh, adorable.
Yes. And
what would you say are your what would you say is your like top 3 like the shows you're gonna watch?
Definitely Komi Can't Communicate.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm going to watch it, but I'm still going to put it in my top 3. But Osama ranking? Obama ranking.
Obama.
Ranking of Kings is what it translates to. And then I don't know, probably Tact Opus Destiny. That or my senpai's annoying or whatever. What is it? My senpai can't possibly be this annoying.
My senpai can't possibly fucking gape my asshole this hard. For me, it's like you, it's Komi 100%. Like Komi is a manga that's really personal to me because I have extreme social anxiety.
Yeah.
Like Komi might as well be me, except actually attractive.
She's just like me for real.
Which is something we didn't mention, but Komi-san is literally the most attractive creature ever designed, ever. Except for maybe her mom, which her mom looks exactly like her, except she talks too much.
No, let's go.
Yeah, so like, just wait till you meet her mom. It's great. Also, her brother is also insanely hot. I feel like Doku. I feel like you're gonna meet her brother, and you're gonna be like, I can't believe he's underage. You're gonna start immediately writing self-insert Komi-san fan fiction where you fuck the adult version of her brother.
Why would you say this in a recording?
But yeah, other than that, Komi-san, obvious. I love Platinum End. It's terrible in like the gross way that reminds me of like shit I used to watch a lot of. Like, and it's not terrible. It's actually pretty high quality. Yeah. When I say terrible, I mean it's like schlocky and edgy. Like the only thing it's missing is a super edgy OP, which it already has kind of an edgy OP. But I compare that to like Death Note, which literally had like death metal openings. Yeah. And the other one is 86, which, was at the beginning of the list. But 86 is legitimately one of my favorite anime right now. And I highly recommend you check it out if you are interested in good stories about war that aren't just like nuanceless war bad. But yeah, I think this has been an episode of We Hate Anime. Wow, this is probably the longest episode we've had in a while.
It's just 2 of us, baby.
That's right. When you get us together, we're a power couple. We're
ADHD goblins.
Hell yeah! Do you have anything you want to plug?
Follow me on Twitter at Sudoku FGC. I will tweet about shit you do not care about.
He's just like me, for real.
I have a Twitch that I never use. I'll probably no, I won't fucking promise anything. But I have a Twitch I never fucking use. I was going to try streaming the rest of the day in Rampa series, but that's probably not going to happen. I'll probably just play it in my own time. But yeah, those like the 2 main things. I have mainly the Twitter. Go to my Twitter.
Yeah. Doku's got a good. He's a good tweeter.
Give me those good follower numbers. Give me the good brain chemicals.
Much like you can follow me on Twitter. At AnnieMikaru, which I will someday update to a better username. Whenever at I Hate Anime dies.
What comment for you?
Like. The dude hasn't posted since 2016. You're gonna tell me I can't have his at? Fuck you.
Gonna come for you.
Fucking goddamn
Come on,
it. Also, please, do the thing where you like and subscribe and comment. Because did you know that if you comment and like and shit, it like tells the algorithm to show it to other
Yes,
people?
please.
Isn't that crazy?
I comment something, please.
Yeah, just fucking just say bullshit. I don't care. Call me a cuck. I don't fucking care. Do it.
He likes it.
Do it. Yeah, call me a pretty little cuck. And with that, this has been the We Hate Anime Podcast.
Good night, everybody.
Have a good one.